Teacher Christy from Davao City National High School. Today, let's talk about the sum and the product of the roots. It describes the relationship between the coefficients and the roots of a quadratic equation. This activity is designed for you to describe the relationship between the coefficients and the roots of quadratic equation and determine the sum and product of the roots of quadratic equations. Let's have a review. Let's recall how to add and multiply rational numbers. Example, 8 plus negative 4. To solve this problem, if you see positive and negative, just simply multiply positive times negative, it becomes negative. So like this, 8 minus 4 equals 4. Another example, negative 9 times negative 12. To multiply negative numbers, the result is positive. So, negative 9 times negative 12 is equal to positive 108. Fractions. Negative 2 over 3 plus negative 5 over 6. To add fractions, we must see to it that the denominators must be the same. But in this case, the denominators are not the same. So we use LCM, or we will find the least common multiples of 3 and 6. The multiples of 3 are 3, 6, 9, 12, 15, 18, so on and so forth. And the multiples of 6 are 6, 12, 18, 24. Let's find their common multiples. And these are 6, 12, 18. And what is the least common multiples? And that is 6. 6 is the least common multiples of 3 and 6. And we are going to use this to become our new denominator. 6 divided by 3 is 2 times negative 2. And then 6 divided by 6 is 1 times negative 5. Simplify. 2 times negative 2 is negative 4. Positive 1 times negative 5 is negative 5. The result is negative 4 minus 5 is negative 9 over 6. Simplify the fraction. How? Get the factors of 9. 3 times 3, and the factors of 6, 3 times 2. Cancel 3, and what is left is negative 3 over 2. Negative 2 over 3 plus negative 5 over 6 is equal to negative 3 over 2. Let's have another review on finding the roots. Let's have this equation, x squared minus 8x plus 16 equals 0. And we are going to use the quadratic formula. And identify the values of a, b, and c. A is 1, b is negative 8, and c is 16. Substitute those values. So b is negative 8, substitute, a is 1, c is 16. And simplify. Negative times negative, 8 is equal to positive 8. Negative 8 times negative 8, we have positive 64. And then negative 4 times 1 times 16, 16 is equal to negative 64. Simplify the numbers under radical sign. 64 minus 64 is equal to 0. The square root of 0 is 0. So we have x is equal to 8 plus and minus 0 over 2, and then we will separate these two signs. So it becomes like this, 8 plus 0 over 2. On the right side, we have 8 minus 0 over 2. 8 plus 0 is 8 over 2. On the right side, 8 minus 0 is 8 over 2. And then the final answer is 8 divided by 2 is 4. Okay, let's go to relationship between the coefficient and roots of quadratic equations. The sum and product of the roots of a quadratic equation ax squared plus bx plus c equals 0 can be determined using the coefficients of a, b, and c without solving for the roots. Remember that the roots of quadratic equation can be determined using the formula or the quadratic formula. This one. The sum of the roots, we will use this x sub 1 plus x sub 2. We are just simply separate this sign. So x sub 1, negative b plus square root of b squared minus 4az all over 2a. And our x sub 2 is negative b minus square root of b squared minus 4ac over 2a. And then combine like terms. Since our denominator is the same, just copy 2a. Then combine the like terms in the numerator. We have negative b plus square root of b squared minus 4ac plus negative b minus square root of b squared minus 4ac. And then, as you can see, we can cancel this. Why? Because this is positive and then this is negative. So what is left is negative b plus negative b. We can combine these two terms. So it becomes negative 2b over 2a. We can cancel 2. What is left is negative b over a. So we will use this expression to find the sum of the roots of quadratic equation without solving the roots. And now let's go to the product. X sub 1 times x sub 2, again we will use the quadratic formula. Minus b plus square root b squared minus 4ac over 2a times negative b minus square root of b squared minus 4ac over 2a. So multiply the denominators and the numerators. So 2a times 2a, we have 4a squared, and then the numerators, multiply them using the FOIL method. Negative b times negative b, we have positive b squared, and then again this one, negative b times negative square root of b squared minus 4ac, it becomes positive b square root of b squared minus 4ac. And then let's go to the next. Square root of b squared minus 4ac times negative b, we have negative b squared of b squared minus 4ac. Then let's do the same. So this one, since this and this are the same, so just simply put 2. And then combine like terms. So cancel out this because this is positive and this is negative. Then cancel out 2 and the radical sign. And what is left is b squared minus b squared plus 4ac over 4a squared. Cancel b squared. What is left is 4ac over 4a squared. Cancel 4 and a. Final answer is c over a. We are going to use this in finding the product of the roots of quadratic equation. Let's have a review again. Sum, we will use negative b over a, and for the product, we will use c over a. Just memorize this expression, negative b over a and c over a. Let's have an example. Find the sum and product of the roots of 2x squared plus 8x minus 10 equals 0. Since the given example is in standard form, we don't need to transform. We can identify directly the a, b, and c. A is 2, b is 8, and c is negative 10. Let's find the sum. And we use this, negative b over a. So the value of b is 8, so negative times 8 over 2, we have negative 4. the product, we use this c over a. The value of c is negative 10 over 2. We have negative 5. So the sum of the roots of 2x squared plus 8x minus 10 equals 0 is negative 4. And the product of the roots of 2x squared plus 8x minus 10 equals 0 is negative 5. Let's check our answer using any methods of solving quadratic equations. Okay, there are 4 methods of quadratic equations, solving quadratic equations. We are just going to pick one. Okay, 2x squared plus 8x minus 10 equals 0. So as you can see, we have to simplify this first by dividing both sides by 2. Our a is 2. So like this, 2 divided by 2 is 1, 8 divided by 2 is 4, negative 10 divided by 2 is negative 5, and 0 divided by 2 is 0. X squared plus 4x minus 5 equals 0 is the simplified form of 2x squared plus 8x minus 10 equals 0. So we can identify the values of a, b, and c from our simplified equation. A is 1, b is 4, c is negative 5. Again, we are going to pick one of the 4 methods in solving quadratic equation, and I'm going to pick quadratic formula. So from this quadratic formula, we are going to use these values, substitute. So substitute b, 4, a is 1, c is negative 5. So simplify. Negative 4 and then 4 times 4 is 16. Negative 4 times 1 times negative 5 is positive 20. And then simplify the numbers under the radical sign. 16 plus 20, it becomes 36. And the square root of 36 is 6. So we got this. Negative 4 plus 6 over 2. And then negative 4 minus 6 over 2. So we just separate this. Okay, so simplify. Negative 4 plus 6, we have 2 over 2. Negative 4 minus 6, we have negative 10 over 2. So our x sub 1 is 1 and our x sub 2 is negative 5. Okay, so find the roots, sum of the roots. So let's see. X sub 1 plus x sub 2, we have 1 plus negative 5, we have negative 4. Wow, we have the same answer. The product, x sub 1 times x sub 2, so 1 times negative 5, we have negative 5. As you can see, we have the same answer. Again, to solve the sum and product of the roots of a quadratic equation, just simply use this. Negative b over a and c over a. Just simply as this. No need to solve the roots using the 4 methods. So let's have an example. Find the sum and product of the roots of the equation x squared minus 8x is equal to negative 5. So this given example is not in standard form, so we must transform this into standard form first. So it becomes x squared minus 8x plus 5 equals 0. We just simply transfer this negative 5 to the left side. Since this is negative 5, it becomes positive 5. So now, in standard form. So we can identify a, b, and c. We don't need to divide both sides by a because our a is already 1. So a is 1, b is negative 8, and c is positive 5. Okay, sum of the roots, solution. How to get the sum of the roots? So we just simply use negative b over a. Since our b is negative 8, just substitute. Negative times negative 8 over 1. So negative times negative is positive. So it becomes positive 8. So 8 divided by 1 is 8. So the sum of the roots of quadratic equation x squared minus 8x equals negative 5 is 8. Now let's go to the product. We use C over A. So the value of C is 5 and A is 1. 5 divided by 1 is 5. The product of the roots of x squared minus 8x equals negative 5 is 5. So again, the sum of the roots of x squared minus 8x plus 5 equals 0 is 8. The product of the roots of x squared minus 8x plus 5 equals 0 is 5. Okay, please continue answering your module. Thank you.